Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and in this video we're doing a side-by-side comparison of two single-column Bibles from Schuyler, the Treveris and the Stridon. Okay, the recent release of the Stridon from Schuyler Bibles, a single-column reference Bible, is now the second single-column Bible they have offered. There's actually three. They have the Caxton, but the Caxton, the NLT Caxton, has been retired. So if you want a single-column Bible from Schuyler, you're going for the Treveris, which is currently available in KJV and ESV, or the Stridon, which is available in NASB. And I know that the Stridon is going to be coming out in ESV. They're going to be expanding it. I think the Treveris will be expanding to other translations as well. So several people have asked me when the Stridon first came out, how does it compare to the Treveris? And the reality is that these Bibles are totally different. They are single column, yes. But that's one of the only things that they're made by a beautiful Bible publisher in Schuyler. They have great look and feel, some of the same craftsmanship as far as being printed and bound by Royal Youngblood. But when it comes to the layout and the overall design and the size, they are very different Bibles. So I thought it'd be a fun idea to do a side-by-side comparison video so you could really see how these stack up. If you're like, hey, I need a single column Schuyler, hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea of how they stack up and what the differences are. So we're going to do an overhead now and take a closer look. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for me. This is a side-by-side comparison of the Schuyler Treveris and the Schuyler Stridon. Okay, Treveris on the left, Stridon on the right. This is the KJV Treveris in marbled mahogany calfskin, the NASB Stridon in green goatskin. You see they both have the Jerusalem cross, same look and feel, the perimeter stitch. One of the biggest things you're going to notice, well, this is calfskin, this is goatskin. They also make the Treveris. They make the Stridon with this same marbled mahogany calfskin. They make the Treveris with goatskin options. So those are just slightly different leathers, but they're going to have the same look and feel with the raised spine hubs, all the printing, the Schuyler logo. It's very similar on the outside. The biggest difference you're going to notice on the outside is how big these Bibles are. So the Stridon matches the Quintel. It's 6.1 inches wide, 9.1 inches tall. It's about 1.3 inches before you add the cover, so it's almost an inch and a half, a little bit over an inch and a half when you have the cover on there. The Treveris, on the other hand, is only 5.5 inches wide and 8.5 inches tall. And it's about 1.1 inches thick at the text block, a little bit bigger with the cover. So it's a slightly smaller Bible. I would call this a mid-size Bible for the Treveris, a full-size Bible for the Stridon. It's also worth noting that the Treveris currently comes in KJV or ESV. Stridon, as I'm recording this video, comes in NASB 2020, but ESV is coming next. I'm sure they're going to be expanding both of these different Bibles, but the similarities on the outside, there's a lot other than the size. Once you get into the inside is where things kind of change up a little bit. So I'm going to open up the Stridon over here. I just randomly landed on Nehemiah chapter 4, so I'm going to go find Nehemiah chapter 4 in this Bible as well. So here is the first of Nehemiah chapter 4 on both Bibles. So you can see they are single column. They both have a 10-point typeface that is very similar. I mentioned this in my video of the comparison between the Stridon and the Quintel. The Quintel is a Milo typeface. The Stridon is a slightly different typeface that is very similar to, it might be the same typeface as the Treveris. They never really announced that at Schuyler, but somebody told me it was the Lion typeface, and when I compared it with the Lion typeface online, Lyon, Lion, it looks very similar. But this is going to be a single column, verse-by-verse reference Bible with wide margins on the Stridon. You're getting a single column paragraph format on the Treveris, but then once you get to books of poetry, like the Psalms, it's going to become a verse-by-verse poetic setting. So a few of the things you're going to notice right away. Drop caps on the Treveris. They use drop caps here for an ornamental design. Does not have cross references or textual footnotes. So you don't get the drop caps, you just get chapter numbers there, and then you get the cross references at the bottom as well as the textual footnotes. The Stridon does footnotes in the outer portion of the page, cross references on the inner portion of the page. So on the right, it's going to be outside and inside. Left, it's going to be outside references, inside cross references. It's a verse by verse, again, slightly bigger on the page, but it has the same typeface. You're also going to notice that you have chapter numbers on the Stridon. You don't have chapter numbers on the Treveris. So this is a full-on, the Stridon is a full-on reference Bible, verse by verse, wide margin, single column. The Treveris is what I would call a hybrid reader. You get verse numbers, but the verse numbers are all in the outside or the left side of the page here. So you see them out here, and they're not right at the beginning of each verse. They're basically giving you a marker. The text itself does not have any subheadings. The 4 for this one, you see, is really small outside. That's where chapter 4 begins. It's kind of keeping the text free and uncluttered, but they give you the verses out here so you kind of have a way to place yourself in the text, but they're not right at the beginning of each verse. They're just kind of generically. So this one, verse 27, is going to be starting somewhere, probably right here at the word after, is where verse 27 starts in Nehemiah 3. But out here it kind of tells you 27 starts on this line. Occasionally, like I can show you down here, there's going to be a verse that starts on both lines. So right here, the beginning, this "and" is the beginning of chapter 22, after is verse 22. After is the beginning of verse 23. So it tells you verse 22 and 23 both start on this line. It's also worth noting that over here on the Treveris, 646, 647 is where you have Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4. Over here on the Stridon, it's 686 and 687. So you're getting a little bit more density on words per page. Now, the KJV is not the same word count as the NASB, but the Treveris is going to be slightly thinner because it's going to be able to put more words per page. Therefore, the Bible is not going to be as long. But again, when we're comparing these two, the main thing they have in common is that they are single column Bibles. But the way they go about doing single column, okay, that's not the main thing. They're both 28 GSM paper. They're both a 10-point typeface. They're single column. After that, they're very, very different. This is, like I said, a hybrid reader, free of any sort of clutter on the page. It's just letting you kind of dive into the text. There's no cross-references. There's no textual footnotes, that sort of thing. So it's really kind of an immersive reading experience. This is a verse by verse. It chops the text up more than any other kind of Bible. It has cross-references. It has textual footnotes. It's definitely helping you study and kind of, it's a different type of reading experience. So if you're going, hey, I want a single column Bible from Schuyler, they've got two totally different options. And once they kind of continue to expand these lines and you have multiple translations, right? So they're going to have an ESV version of the Stridon coming out in 2023. Well, then you're going to be able to have an ESV Treveris or an ESV Stridon. Those are two totally different, and an ESV Quintel, personal size Quintel, wide margin Quintel. Once that Bible comes out, I should do a ESV Schuyler comparison video to show you all the different ones. But just a different look and feel. Now, at the end of this Bible, you get a concordance, you get Bible maps, all of those things. So full-on reference Bible, like I said. The Treveris does include a concordance, which I think is kind of a peculiar decision because it's really not what I think of as like a study Bible, but they do give you a concordance and the Bible maps as well. So you get a couple of the same things, but again, no subheadings, no big chapter numbers, verse numbers splitting everything up, none of those reference features, so it's totally different. Now, the KJV Treveris is red letter as well, so they did that here. The ESV is not red letter. So there's a few different little peculiar options that you have, but overall, single column, 10-point type, 28 GSM paper. After that, these Bibles become vastly different reading experiences. So there you have it, a comparison of the Schuyler Treveris and the Schuyler Stridon. Both single column, but otherwise very different. I mean, the typeface is similar, but otherwise they are very different Bibles. So here's what I want to know from you. Let's set translation aside, since they only come in a few different translations. If you could have one of these Bibles in any translation, your preferred translation, which Bible would you choose and why? Why do you love one versus the other? Leave that in the comments. I'd love to discuss that with you. If you have questions about these Bibles, you can drop those in the comments and I'll get you an answer. Or you can probably find the answer to those questions if you click the links in the video description to the full reviews that I've done of these Bibles. I've also done some unboxing videos. I have a lot of Schuyler Bible videos on my channel, so I'll put a link to the playlist where you can just watch all of my Schuyler videos. I'm also going to put a link to Bible Review Blog on Instagram and Facebook, where I've posted some beautiful photos of these Bibles, so definitely check those out. And before you go, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You can find more great Bibles, comparison videos, unboxing videos, full reviews on my channel. My goal is to help you find a Bible that's right for you. That's why I do videos just like this, so you can spend your money wisely, get a great Bible, but make sure you're getting the one that is right for you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.